up? I'm Jared, I'm 19,
and I never learned how to read. Just kidding, I'm SAi-DOL, and this is episode 2 of my series Lessons in Idol-ogy, the video series where I teach you about the wonderful world of J-pop idols and all that it has to offer. Class is in session, folks. What exactly are my credentials? Absolutely nothing. I have no business even cosplaying as a teacher. All I do is listen to idol music all day and pretend to be smart. On the agenda for today is Maison Book Girl, a personal favorite of mine and what I believe to be one of the most creative and artsiest of fartsiest idol groups out there. So I know I said the term artsy-fartsy because I always thought it was humorous, but then I looked it up even further and apparently it's supposed to be offensive. I really did not mean that. I just thought it was funny because it had the word fart in it. I truly meant no ill intent at all. I swear, I love Maison Book Girl. I would never talk ill about their work. If you're an avid reader, which let's be honest, Gen Z and alpha literacy rates are actually in hell, so who even is anymore? 𝑀𝑏𝑔 is definitely a group worth checking out. Maison Book Girl were a Japanese alternative idol group active from 2014 to 2021, originally formed with 4 members: Koshoji Megumi, Yagawa Aoi, Inoue Yui, and Somoto Kaori. However, a lineup change would occur and member Rin Wada was added also. Their music is often described as new age or contemporary, but I describe them as sounds that scratch my brain just right, or music that you can pretend to be an intellectual to, with experimental, bleak, genre-bending instrumentals and odd time signatures. I've seen some criticism that all their music sounds the same, and to that I say, yeah, kinda. Some of it does sound very similar, I'll give you that. But that's kinda why everything was so consistently amazing. The formula was formula-ing. Their music is produced by Sakurai Kenta, a musician and the director of ep.3, an alternative Japanese music, design, and video agency that also produces many J-pop idol groups. In the early stages of their development in 2014, the prototype name for 𝑀𝑏𝑔 was Bookhouse Girl. Bookhouse. This name was inspired by the Bookhouse Boys from the drama series Twin Peaks, which is a nice reference, but I'm still glad they changed the name to what it is now. Something that they do that is different from most other idol groups is that they often incorporate poetry into their musical releases and live performances, often having tracks in their albums being recordings of poems written by member and leader Koshoji Megumi, or having entire segments of their concerts being just spoken word poetry readings. If I were to describe their aesthetic in a way that is all-encompassing, I would use the word gloomy. They almost exclusively wear the colors black and white, and their music videos and promotional materials are markedly desaturated. Common motifs in their aesthetic are nature, surrealist art and animations, industrial architecture, cityscapes, minimalist color palettes, cinematic framing, dark rooms, another dark room, and another dark, Okay, who forgot to pay the light bill? These are certainly not ideal reading conditions. And lots of fog. Their fashion is very avant-garde, and some of it even toes the line of anti-fashion. This could very much be a stretch, but I also sense some whiffs of post-war European film movements and beatnik subculture influences. That, or I'm literally pulling these words straight out of my ass. The formation of Maison Book Girl dates back to July of 2014, when Koshoji Megumi, then member of the infamous alternative idol group Brand New Idol Society, announced plans to produce her own idol group alongside Sakurai Kenta at the first generation's disbandment concert. I just realized that this is now the second time that I've mentioned this in a Lessons in Idol-ogy video, the first being in my Cyber video, which was the very first in this series, which I highly suggest you check out after watching this one. And I have a sneaking suspicion that BiS will be making a lot more appearances as this series goes on. Their debut lineup was officially announced on November 5th and consisted of 4 members. Koshoji Megumi, the mastermind behind Maison Book Girl, was born in Niigata on September 28, 1993. She got her start in the idol scene as a member of BiS after being added to the group in 2013. And before this, she had actually been a fan pretty much since their inception. So she was really living the dream of every YN Wattpad protagonist. But instead of being kidnapped by One Direction, it was poor Louis. This dream come true would not last very long though, as BiS disbanded in 2014. But by then, the wheels in her brain were already cooking up the idea for her own idol group, which we all know now is 𝑀𝑏𝑔. She is a self-published author, having released 1 book of her poetry, but has now been out of print for many years. She has also dabbled into voice acting, having voiced the character Ekoda-chan from episode 11 of Rinshi Ekoda-chan in 2019. She even has her own blend of coffee beans after collaborating with the OK Coffee Company in 2021, and did like a little press tour where she visited various of their brick and mortar locations throughout Japan. Yagawa Aoi was born on April Fool's Day 1994 in Osaka. She has also released her own solo music, been a radio host, and has done 2 commercials, one of which was for Niigata Airport and the other, a Say No to Drugs campaign, which I find absolutely hilarious in theory, yet still 10 times better than any DARE PSA my elementary school made us sit through. I swear every 10-year-old I knew wanted to choke out Darren the Lion. Before Maison Book Girl in 2014, she worked part-time at a general goods store after having graduated from a vocational school, which there's nothing wrong with that, but girlie had bigger plans for herself. This is what pushed her to audition and participate in Miss ID 2015, which might sound confusing given the timeline of events, but Miss ID names their contest after the upcoming year, which has not happened yet. Kind of like what they do with cars. But whatever, back on track. She didn't win, but the committee chairman informed her that Sakurai Kenta of ecomms was looking for members for a new idol group and thought she'd be a good fit. So she met him at a cafe, and the rest is history. Inoue Yui was born on September 13th, 1994 in Fukuoka, which when I say the name of this prefecture, all I can think about is... Before Maison Book Girl, she actually graduated with a degree in nutrition. In 2014, while looking for a job, she auditioned for MBG and passed. She is actually the only member in the group to ever be selected by an audition process. She is known for being a good cook, putting her nutrition science knowledge to good use. Somoto Kaori was born on April 13, 1991. She was a Miss ID 2014 finalist. She also does what is called gravure modeling, which is similar to pinup girls, where the models dress provocatively, mainly for magazines targeted towards men. And no, I will not be showing any pictures, you nasties. Mainly for her privacy, but also not to get in trouble with YouTube's policies. It is a pretty common route for idols to go, and she did this after graduating from Keio University and while working an office job for an IT company. She is an avid traveler, claiming to have visited 25 countries by 2014, and speaks English and Spanish. I couldn't find how she ended up in MBG, but I assume being in Miss ID had something to do with it. Alongside the announcement of the debut lineup, MBG announced that they would be launching their own fashion brand, also called Maison Book Girl, so as to spread their aesthetic and worldview to other mediums. They had their first ever live performance on November 27th and performed their first few songs. However, they would not see an official release until a few months later. Their costumes at the time were all white and with their logo on the front in black, and was actually cited as a reference to the film A Clockwork Orange. On March 8th, 2015, it was announced that member Somoto Kaori would leave the group due to family issues that made it difficult for her to continue her idol activities. She would have her last performance as a member of Maison Book Girl on March 27th, where she described her short time in MBG as the treasure of my life. Megumi would then cut the Maison Book Girl logo off her shirt with scissors, symbolizing her official departure. It was also at this live that MBG would screen the trailer for their upcoming film, titled My Cut, and announced the addition of a new member that would fill the Kaori-sized hole that the group now had. And her name is Rin Wada. She was born on March 14th, 1995 in Hokkaido. Hey, what a birthday twin! As far as I know, I have 2 idol birthday twins, and we all coincidentally wear glasses. There's probably more out there that I just don't know about, but I still think it's pretty interesting. Speaking of glasses, this is what she is the most known for. So much so that she even collaborated with a glasses manufacturer and sells eyeglass fixation devices as her official merchandise. Now naturally, my first question is, why does this collaboration even exist? And the answer to that would be, because of course it does. And my second question is, where can I get them? Glasses are a permanent part of her look now. They're pretty much fused to her face, and if she ever takes them off, the world will explode. Okay, that was obviously a joke, but there are pictures of her out there without her glasses. After she graduated high school, Rin moved to Tokyo to attend art school and study sculpture. She had been an idol fan for some time, particularly of the idol Yume Minemu, who was then a member of the idol group Denbugumi Incorporated, founded by the production company Deer Stage, that also run a live event space/bar in Akihabara, where the girls working there as waitresses are also idols and perform live every hour on the hour. Rin ended up working there and dropped out of art school after just 1 year. Again, I couldn't quite find information on how she was scouted for MBG, but something tells me that working and performing at Deer Stage probably had something to do with it. She is also a VTuber. Maison Book Girl's first official musical release came on March 14th, 2015, with the 2 single CDs titled White, containing the songs My Cut and Bathroom, and Black, containing the songs Film Noir and Last Scene. Both CDs also contained each song's instrumental as well. It was limited to only 900 copies and only sold at the live venue. On August 22nd, MBG's film My Cut in collaboration with Yurika Oneyama was screened in its entirety for the very first time at the Music Lab 2015 Music and Film Festival. Sadly, I have yet to be able to find this film, but I was able to dig up the trailer. Oneyama was also the director for Maison Book Girl's first ever music video, which was for their song Bathroom off of their first full album also titled Bathroom, released on September 23rd. On November 25th, Maison Book Girl held their first one-man live titled Solitude Hotel 1F at the Shibuya Womb nightclub. On March 30th, 2016, Maison Book Girl released their first EP, titled Summer Continue, with the lead single Lost Age. In September, member Inoue Yui underwent surgery to remove polyps from her vocal cords. Luckily, she would make a speedy recovery. However, she would have to lip-sync for her subsequent few performances in order to ensure her healing. From October 5th to the 10th, MBG made their way to Canada, where they performed as part of Next Music from Tokyo Volume 9, a DIY one-man run tour that happens once a year that brings bands and idols from Japan and has them perform in various venues in cities across Canada. And when I say that this is a one-man show, I mean it. It really is just one dude funding these tours. Each individual acts airfare to, from, and transportation across Canada, coordinating with media outlets, booking the venues, making all the promotional materials, conducting interviews, being the host, MC, and translator for all the events, and so much more. And all for what, thou may ask? Quote, doing it strictly out of charity and a hobby. Now that is dedication right there. And the tour is still going strong. Next Music from Tokyo Volume 16 is happening very soon. So if you're watching this and you're from Canada or know you will be in Canada in October, check it out. I think tickets might still be available. Now, why am I hyping up this event that I have absolutely no hand in? Well, because I respect the hustle. It was through this tour that Maison Book Girl was able to perform in Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. On November 6th, MBG held their second one-man live titled Solitude Hotel 2F. Then on November 30th, Maison Book Girl had their major label debut after signing with Tokuma Japan Communications and releasing their first major debut single titled River (Cloudy Irony), featuring the songs Cloudy Irony, Karma, and 14 Days, along with the instrumentals for each track. On April 5th, 2017, Maison Book Girl released their first major label album titled Image and toured around Japan to promote the release, concluding in the final performance titled Solitude Hotel 3F at Akasaka Blitz in Tokyo. Sad fact, Akasaka Blitz closed their doors for good in 2020, so RIP Blitz. and the music can't stop coming in, won't stop coming, gotta hit the ground running, as MBG released another single on July 19th titled 412, and consisting of the songs Rooms, Ashita, and a remaster of the song Last Scene from their first album, as well as their instrumentals. Then on December 13th, Maison Book Girl released Kotoeri, consisting of the tracks Kotoeri, 16 Sai, and Ame no Mukogao de. Kotoeri is different from all the other songs they have released up until this point. And that is because the lyrics were written entirely by an artificial intelligence that was fed all of MBG's previous lyrical content. Member Koshodi Megumi stated that she didn't notice the lyrics were written by AI at first, because Sakurai Kenta's lyrics usually didn't make much sense anyways. Oof. To end off the year, Maison Book Girl held their fourth live titled... Okay, I think you get the naming conventions already. It's obviously Solitude Hotel 4F on December 28th. But the day before that, a mysterious Twitter account named 𝒕𝒂𝒈𝒔 posted 2, and only 2, images. One was of the new and improved MBG logo but turned upside down, and the other was a QR code. Now obviously not everybody was taught internet safety, because people ended up scanning this random QR code, and thankfully it only led them to a website displaying numbers. It's still creepy as hell though. I wonder how people even found it in the first place. However, I think it's safe to say that it was MBG and their staff that were behind this little scheme. Mystery solved! On May 4th, 2018, Maison Book Girl held Solitude Hotel 4.9F at Tokyo Kinema Club. It was at this live that MBG performed new songs since the departure from Tokyo Japan Communications, and they also announced that from that moment on they would be backed by Pony Canyon, a huge entertainment company that not only distributes music, but also produces films, anime, and video games. It was also around this time that MBG continued their expansion throughout the English-speaking world, but this time touching ground in England. Oh boy, raise up your pantaloons and slather beans on your toast. We get in British up in here. Fun fact, and this is completely unrelated, but ever since I was little, I had like this sort of mental bucket list of things I've always wanted to do. And one of those things was to meet Queen Elizabeth II. I have no idea what compelled me to make that a life goal, or think that I'd ever be important enough to do it, but it was something I was actually excited about. To this day, I still haven't met her, and she's dead now, so I think it's safe to say that I can cross that one off my list. Maison Book Girl signed with the English label Read the Air Records for their distribution and activities in the English market. Read the Air is a collaboration between British indie label Alcopop Records and the Japanese indie label Vinyl Junkies to bring Japanese music to a British audience. To this day, Maison Book Girl is their one and only artist, and it doesn't look like they'll be expanding their roster or really continuing activities at all. I truly hope this label doesn't become defunct, because it really is a great idea. A special edition blue 7th-inch single vinyl consisting of the songs Karma and Bathroom, limited to only 500 copies, was released under this label. That and the rest of their merchandise under Read the Air is all sold out with no possibilities of a future reprint. On June 20th, Maison Book Girl released their first single under Pony Canyon titled Elude, consisting of the songs Raincoat to Kubi no Nai Tori, Okaeri Sayonara, and Kyoshitsu, as well as their instrumentals. Then on June 23rd, they held their Solitude Hotel 5F live. It was said that it rained before doors opened at the venue, which only added to the atmosphere for some fans in attendance. Cause like, of course it would rain at a Maison Book Girl concert. Where else? It was also at this live that they would introduce these sick Plague Doctor masks. Pun was absolutely not intended, but I might just act like it was now. This motif will appear frequently in their live shows to come. Also throughout the month of June, member Inoue Yui competed in the first annual Cook Idol Championship, a cooking show where idols compete to see who is the best chef. This is supposedly what her dish looked like. I'd eat it. Minus the veggies though. It's got nothing to do with her cooking, I'm sure it's splendid. I just hate anything that even remotely resembles a vegetable. For me, picky eating was not a phase. It's a lifestyle. What am I saying? On November 21st, Maison Book Girl released Wooeh, their longest album ever consisting of 21 tracks. Three of those tracks were interludes that made me feel like I was being MK Ultra'd. And those tracks are not called fMRI for no reason. The sounds you've just heard came from real MRI scans of the members. And not just that, but these flashing images that appear in the Wooeh music video are their thoughts. The visual reconstruction of their brain activity as the members were looking at photos. This was all done in collaboration with Professor Yukiyasu Kamitani of Kyoto University. This is just fascinating. There's no other way to describe it. And then on November 26th, they held two Solitude Hotel 6F shows, one in the afternoon and another at night. In December, it was also announced that there would be an upcoming tour for the spring of 2019. Their 2019 tour ran from March 16th to April 14th, and during it they released a new EP titled Soup, released on April 3rd, consisting of the songs Kujida Kojo, Nagai Yoru ga Akete, and Mangetsu no Yoru ni. The shrine in the Whale Factory music video is actually the same shrine where Maison Book Girl took their very first artist photos in. The last live in that tour was titled Solitude Hotel 7F, and there they also sold 200 limited edition copies of Soup with different jacket art than the version that was sold in stores. At this live, they also announced their new single and yet another tour for that same year in the summer. Let me tell you, Maison Book Girl were booked and busy in the years of 2019 through 2021, so buckle up because we'll be moving pretty fast. On July 31st, the aforementioned new single titled Umbla was released, consisting of the songs Yami Ido no Asa, Silhouette, and Kokuhaku, along with their instrumentals. It was also at this time that MBG released a lot of animated music videos in collaboration with many artists. '19 would also be the start of Maison Book Girl's partnership with a little-known company, I'm sure you're too normie to have heard of them, called Amazon. Well, we in the big leagues now. At the end of their summer tour in August, MBG announced a continuation of that tour for the fall/winter. During that time, they also held special performances presented and sponsored by Amazon. On November 27th, a reality documentary-style show featuring the Maison Book Girl members titled Pickups Maison Book Girl began streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. Then on December 18th, their album titled Children of the Sea and Space was released. 2020 began with a live show titled Solitude Hotel Infinity F, and it was there that the members announced that they would be releasing a best-of album titled Fiction, with remasters of some of Maison Book Girl's greatest hits, along with an accompanying tour. However, this tour would be postponed due to obvious reasons. During this time, the Maison Book Girl members did a lot of live streams to compensate for not being able to see fans in person. Fiction's release date was initially slated for April but had to be postponed until it was finally released on June 24th. That same day, they also held their very first live stream concert titled Solitude Box online and performed without an audience. On July 30th, Maison Book Girl and Amazon collaborated yet again, this time with a talk show titled Now Off Air, streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. Then on November 5th, 2020, on the 6th anniversary of MBG's formation, they had a live-streamed concert titled Birthday with the number 6 acting as the letter B. That's cute. And on December 21st, they announced that they would be giving their Fiction tour another go, this time called the Re-Fiction Tour in February of 2021. On April 2nd, Maison Book Girl had their one-man live titled Solitude Hotel 9F. This live was different than the others as they performed every single song. The concert's runtime in total was 4 hours. Thankfully, there was an intermission. After that live, it was announced that they would be performing again very soon, this time at a concert titled Solitude Hotel. Notice how there's not a floor number at the end? Yeah, the public didn't know it yet, but this would be Maison Book Girl's last ever performance. Ever. Because after that live, they announced that they would be disbanding right then and there. And when fans tried going onto their official website after the show, they were met with this blue screen error message. Maison Book Girl has been deleted. I know this is supposed to be sad, but can I just say I absolutely love the little cheeky, if you were looking for this error message, well, you found it. I gotta admit, that's pretty funny. The final piece of media that Maison Book Girl ever put out was a DVD of their final performance, released on August 18th. This was not the ending that fans were hoping for. The reason for their disbandment was never explained. There were no problems with the management or drama between the members as far as the public was concerned. They just ended. Sadly, real life does not work like a storybook. Not everything has a happy or at the very least satisfying conclusion. And not everything lasts forever. Like the greatest stories that humanity has ever told, all good things must come to an end. And Maison Book Girl reminded us of that. Well, dear readers, I hope you enjoyed the story of Maison Book Girl. The ending was far from satisfactory, but never fear! The stories of the individual members are still being written. Let's take a look as to where everyone is now, shall we? Starting with 𝒕𝒂𝒈 Megumi, she has continued her idol career, this time as part of the group MAPPA, produced by J-pop powerhouse and queen of allegations Omori Seiko. She continues to write lyrics and has even lent her hand at directing music videos too. Yagawa Aoi continues her solo music career, and on top of that is a member of the retro pop duo named Fancy Labo, alongside Miyori Ichikawa, an AKB48 alum and produced by Night Tempo. Dean Wada has also released some solo music. On February 5th, 2022, she married writer and rapper Kosuke Shiraishi. And you know how I mentioned earlier that during her Dear Stage days, she was a fan of Yumemi Nemu? Well, guess what? Miss Nemu was a guest and witness at her wedding. This literally sounds like a fanfic, but it's real, I can't make this up. Rin is far from leaving her career in idoling behind as she became a member of the idol group Electric Ribbon on July 31st, 2024. Inoue Yui has since retreated from the limelight. There is absolutely nothing known about her post Maison Book Girl, and she deleted all of her social media accounts. I sincerely hope that wherever she is and whatever she is doing, that she's living her best life in peace and quiet. And lastly, Somoto Kaori. Don't think I forgot about you, girl. No member left behind. Not much is known about her because after leaving Maison Book Girl, she has also stayed away from the public eye. The only thing we do know is that she has a daughter. Best wishes to all of you. In conclusion, Maison Book Girl was truly something special. A lightning in a bottle, once-in-a-lifetime idol group. Their music and art was so impactful to me and countless others. Their work transcends idoldom, and it's a damn shame that more people do not know about them. As we check out of the Solitude Hotel, aka as this video comes to an end, I highly suggest you check out their music and videos. Everything that you've seen and heard throughout this video will be compiled in a playlist linked in the description. All of Maison Book Girl's music is on streaming such as Spotify and Apple Music, and while physical copies can sometimes be hard to come by, do not overlook the secondhand market. I hope you've enjoyed your stay here at the Solitude Hotel just as much as you have enjoyed Maison Book Girl's music and history and my coverage of them. I hope you walk out of this experience moved, inspired, or at the very least entertained and informed. I would like to give a special thanks to last night's stay at Solitude Hotel, a fan-run blog, YouTube channel, and zine that archives Maison Book Girl content. Check out their Tumblr, it's an amazing resource for anything Maison Book Girl related. I'm saidol, your concierge and professor in all that is idols. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below a book emoji so I know you made it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll be back with a new one very soon. Bye bye!